Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In this episode, I will be talking about how and when will Hamas and other organizations like Hamas will cease to exist. First of all, we have to understand what is Hamas so we can know how to destroy it. Hamas is not a physical thing, it's an ideology. So, for us to destroy this ideology, we have to cut off the life sources that feeds this ideology. How? What is the idea of Hamas? Hamas is an ideology that exists in every nation in the world if they were put and subjected to the same circumstances that the Palestinians been going through for the last 75 years. So it's an ideology to retaliate against injustice, to terminate this ideology. You have to come up with a better one. Give a choice, a better choice. So if you plant a tree, for the small tree to grow and become strong, you need to give it life sources, fertilizer, minerals, water, etc. To kill it, you have to take those away from it. Now, what is the fertilizer to the ideology of Hamas? People. Hamas, as we know, doesn't have mandatory draft. The members of Hamas are volunteers. Okay? What makes these people volunteer into such organization, ideology? Well, we look a little bit deeper. We find out that every time there is an Israeli strike on Gaza or the West Bank, people are killed. Someone's father, someone's brother, someone's mother, someone's sister. There is a new seed is put in the ground to grow and feed the ideology of Hamas. Why? Because when the child grows up without a father, mother, brother, and he wonders why, and he's told that, well, the Israelis have killed your parents, so it creates an anger, and he wants to retaliate under Hamas or under any other organization. He wants to retaliate from anger, pain. So we are the ones creating this society that embraces Hamas's ideology. And we are pouring the fertilizer. So even if you destroyed Hamas completely, military-wise, the ideology is still there. Few years later, it will come back. So what you need to do is to cut the source that feeds this ideology. And that's not by killing them. The other way around. For you to make sure that Hamas no longer exists, you have to make whoever embraces this ideology no longer need to embrace it. How is that? By making every Palestinian feel he is an equal member of this world as everyone else. You gotta give him an opportunity to feel that he matter to the world. You have to give him a substitute that will defend his rights when it needs to be defended. So he needs to be a member of the United Nations and to feel that the United Nations will support him and protect his rights, human rights, civil rights, all kind of rights when he needed to be protected. Then he no longer need Hamas. He no longer need that ideology, period. Every human in the world, they want to live. They want to be happy. The kids want to grow, want to play around. The parents want their kids to grow and play around just like everybody else. So if you give them that opportunity and you make them feel equal, then they no longer need Hamas or any other organization. Unfortunately, we approach things incorrectly. I lived in America for 43 years. I met all kinds of people from all over the world. Never had a problem with any of them. Jewish, Australian, from England, from Germany, anywhere. Why? You sit, you talk, you chat, you feel equal. There's no problem. You can have different opinions about things, but you're still friends and feel like your opinion matters and you're, as a human, matter just as much as the other person. So there's no problem. But if you always being pushed down and suppressed and made to feel that you are not important, you do not exist, you should not exist, you're a mistake more or less, then that's gonna create that resilient feeling. And unfortunately, all our governments are supporting this instead of standing on what would make this really disappear, what would make this idea disappear. How can we make the Palestinian people or any other people of any nation that go through the same situation feel that they are not left alone? There are someone there that cares about their needs and wants, and they are a valid member of this world. Instead of going through that, which is much, much cheaper than all these wars. No, we choose to create wars. Attack and kill. Okay, we make new generation that it's more resilient and more capable and much smarter than the ones before. So they create new ways, so we create new ways to do it. And back and forth, violent never bring anything except violence. We don't want to see innocent people, children, civilians, even military. We don't want them to die because they are humans on any side. Why can't two countries live side by side and be happy? Why two nations can live side by side and be happy? Because we create the problem. We pour the fertilizer. We make the reasons for these people to fight. So our companies that makes military equipment, they will sell their military equipment. So those companies, as the money coming from selling military equipment is way more important than the human lives. Since we do not cherish human lives, so it's either we don't cherish all human lives or we cherish all human life. But when you cherish some and you don't the other, then that creates even more fertilizer to the idea and the ideology of retaliation. So what we really need to do is to focus on understanding what is Hamas. Hamas did not exist till 1987, I think. So before that, there was no Hamas. Why did Hamas exist? That's what we need to understand. The Palestinians used to have the PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization. Okay, now they replaced it with the government of Palestine in the West Bank. But even that is a ticking bomb. People think that there is over there they are ruling themselves and all that we have control. It's a ticking bomb because the people of Palestine are not happy with it either. Their children and their fathers and sisters and families members being killed and abused. Their land have been taken away from them. They're being kicked out of their homes. So this is going to create another Hamas situation, or it's going to feed into the same Hamas ideology, whether under the same name or a different name. So you are sitting on a ticking bomb. And who is feeding this? You are. Why? Because you are not looking at it the right way. You want to take without giving. There's people there. You have to find solution for this before you do it, so you will not create a problem. If you have a room that fits 100 boxes and you have 110 boxes, for you to be able to fit the last 10 boxes, you have to take the front 10 boxes out. So what you're doing is taking 10 boxes out of that room, out of their place, and you bring in new 10 boxes there. Now those 10 boxes are left outside with no place. Now if you switch these boxes to people, these people are angry. Angry because they have been abused. Their rights have been taken away from them. So they have to retaliate. So you created 10 people, or 10 boxes, or whatever you want to call it, that will pour right into the ideology of Hamas or any other organization that will exist like Hamas. So what you need to do is not to create this problem. You have to find out a way not to create this problem. Not by bombing people. You can't bomb enough people. I mean, the nuclear war, when America dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they killed 250,000 people. If you kill 250,000 people in Gaza, you still have 2.25 million people living there, which is still the most crowded place on earth. So, when is enough killing? And by killing those 250,000 people, you have created just as many feeding into the ideology of Hamas. What you want to do is stop the war for both sides, the Palestinians and the Israelis. You want to stop the killing. How do you do that? By stop your aggression and unjust moves. You see what you're doing wrong and you fix it. Violent always brings violent, and it doesn't fix anything, it makes it worse. And I'm speaking for both sides. It does not work that way. It haven't worked for the last 75 years. It's not gonna work. Obviously, it's not gonna work. So, we need to find a better way to deal with that. We need to understand why we're having people joining Hamas. Problem is not Hamas. The problem is why there are people joining Hamas. or any other ideology that runs like Hamas. Because you could take Hamas out, you could take the name and bring a different name. But the ideology inside is the same. So when you give justice to the people and you allow them to live with honor and dignity and respect, this will move away. There's no reason for them to join anybody. They can enjoy their life, they can live, they can see their children grow. The other day, a child from Gaza was asked, "What is your dreams when you grow up?" His answer was shocking. His answer was, "Children in Gaza don't grow up. We are born to be killed children, as children." This is a child we're talking about. He said, that means they never think that far. They never think that far. There's no hope. He said children in Gaza don't live that long, don't get old actually. So, where is our humanity when we see this in a child? What do you expect of a child thinking this way? Was he going to get the Nobel Prize? If he don't see the future. So, we are creating the new generation of Hamas by doing what we're doing. The way it is, the way I see it is, you can change, and we can change our approach to things, give these people their rights, their existence, just like any other human being, make them feel equal, and slowly this ideology would die. But let me tell you something, and I promise you, this ideology exists in every nation on earth. If you go back to doing it again, you put any nation under these circumstances, this ideology is going to come out again. Because it's nature. It's a human nature to defend themselves, to defend their rights, to defend their loved ones. For them not to act this way, you have to make sure that they don't feel that they need to act this way. If you're looking for a permanent solution. But if you're looking for a couple years break or 5 years break or 10 years break from these problems, just to prolong the existence or whatever you're doing, then you do what you do. But what about when that time is up? The next time and the next time and the next time. How are we going to deal with that? Do you really want your children to grow worried about when those other people are going to uprise against? Don't you want your children to live in peace? Just like they want their children to live in peace? Don't you have a future look of the Palestinians and the Jews are playing together, for God's sake? Or this is just fantasy that really just to talk about, but not to see it? You can't teach your kids to hate the Palestinians and the Palestinians teach their kids to hate the Jews and expect them to love each other. The only way this will be solved if we really faced our mistakes and really understood that this is not going to end the way we're doing it. We need to focus on the ideology. What makes this ideology spread, and how can I make it stop spreading? And as I said, we have to take the first step. All of us, all the countries, the United Nations, all, if they really want stability in the whole region. Because don't worry, all the Arab countries around, 400 million people, they are sitting ticking bomb. As you see, they cannot stand seeing their families and friends and brothers and sisters dying in Gaza and not explode. All these regimes that they serve your purpose, they no longer going to exist. You're not going to be able to stop it. You've been fighting in Iraq for many, many years and you're not controlling anything, destroyed the whole area. In Syria, the same thing. You can't control anything. Is that what you want? To destroy the whole region and just use it for factories and whatever you want to, so you can steal the resources from there? And the Israelis, do you really want to be the person that shoots and hire to kill for others to collect? Why would you want to do that? Don't you want your children to grow and be happy like any other children? I think the whole world should get together and look deeper into this situation and realize that they are taking the wrong approach to solve the situation if they really interested in solving the situation. I hope I made my point clear. Thank you very much. Till another episode. See you later.